Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and I've already done it. I've done the job, and I'm just going to show you guys what I've done and how I put this thing together. Uh, so before we get started, don't you forget to go get your truck coffee, and I'll sit here and wait on you. Anyway, so I've already got the DRO set up for this, and I think you guys are going to be impressed. It looks pretty decent. I, I think I did a pretty decent job. I do want to try to clean that aluminum up a little bit better and do some trimming, but for the most part it looks really decent. So what we'll do is I'll put you down here, right here. This is your all seat for the night. Yeah, it's hard, but I don't want you all paying it or being comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not paying attention. So pay attention. Alright, so what we did here is I made this bracket here, and it ended up being two brackets. I could have done this all in one bracket, but I really didn't want to recut this thing out, so I decided to do it this way. And I actually misjudged it and cut my hole too far this way. This was supposed to have been right there and went around. And because I just misjudged my measurements. Remember that saying, measure once or twice, cut once. Alright, so I'm going to take this off. And this is just a piece of aluminum, bad sides down. I want to clean all this stuff up a little bit better and do some more trimming, stuff like that. But the first thing I did was make this bracket. Now, at first, I was going to use this piece right here, and that's why there's two little holes drilled right here. And I was going to put that down on there and sandwich this on the top of this, because it really wouldn't have mattered. But I wanted it to be down in this channel because it's a nice perfect fit. You got same distance in between it. And so I made a bushing to go in behind here, and this is just a thumb wheel. So once I got that below the surface, I turned me a little piece of aluminum to make a spacer to take up the difference to get that to the height I wanted. So then I threaded it and used this nut or bolt to put it on there, thumb wheel. So that I scrapped that idea because I wanted that down below that track. Alright, because otherwise this would have been sticking up further, and then you would have been able to turn a less sized piece. You want to maximize the turning that you can do, which I guess it really doesn't matter because this is what's going to come close to the chuck. So, but I didn't want to make it any higher. So anyway, then I took a piece of this channel like this and cut it to length, drilled holes and shaped them elongated so that I could adjust it up and down. And And then I just took and cut this end off right here. I just put it in the bandsaw and cut it right there and cut that piece off. So now I got a piece of trim off of this piece that's that long I could use for something else. So this job turned into helping me with something else later on down the line. And I've got a project in mind coming up, but it's a surprise. I will say it's for my air gunners. Alright, so anyway, then I mounted that on there and drilled the holes in here, tapped them for 6mm by 1.00 threads, bolted it up to where it was just loose. Then I pushed all this against this and bolted it up. So then I just drove this all the way in as far as it would go, and you notice I put a stop on it too to keep it from going past that. And I'm thinking serious about taking this off, and it's a thumb wheel too, so I can take that off and put me an aluminum slide on it that's the same size as this, with a hole slot in it to ride over top of this, so that when this hits this, it's not hitting in the center and pushing on it. It would actually be hitting the whole surface and not really break anything, because this point could, if I wasn't paying attention, and I can see I'm already bending it. Yep, I've already bent it. I've already got a dent in it. So I need to get a plate on there so that when this goes up against it, it's pushing on the whole surface, not just the center. So that's one change I'm getting ready to make. I just realized that it was doing that. Because you can't hardly tell that you're close when the plate's on there. Here I can actually watch it, but you're not really watching that. I don't really think it's ever going to get to that anyway, because hell, right here is where it's going to ride. For the most part, it's going to ride in, well, I turned the wrong one. Let's see here. It's going to ride mostly out here anyway, between here and there. From center to about the inch, probably inch and a half, 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, be about the most I'd ever go, which would be 1.5 inches. But anyway, you get that up there so I don't cut myself on it. So then I decided to put one of these lights on it, and it's got a push button, and I just took some two-sided 3M tape and put on the back side of this and cleaned that off real nice and dry, and attached that and run all my cables underneath of it. Now all this it rides right with the cradle. So then I wanted to incorporate this light, and I can swivel that all the way around if I want to. And I'll pan you back here and let you see that too. So I can swing that around, I can stretch it over here, I can come all the way around here with it, and I can sit here with my work. And this here will move with the slide. So you ain't gonna have to be going a little bit and then push it around and readjust it. You got it adjusted to where you like it, and you're sitting here looking at it and your DRO. So you're not gonna believe this, but this thing's got some really nice settings on it. The second button is difference in the light, and I'll turn these overhead lights off so you can see the difference. So you got that, and that. You got 3 different settings for different lighting. Bright to dim, All right, then, or different shades. You know, one's a different color, another color, and 3 different colors. All right, then you've got dim. You can dim it all the way down, or you can raise it all the way up, which that's where I'll keep it, all the way up. Alright, I can see that's going to be a problem. Why couldn't they have made that a solid aluminum and had a track in it, and then I could have put a screw in the side of that to keep that from coming up out of there. But anyway, so it just means you got to hold it down here while you're adjusting it. Just got to be careful not to get your finger caught in there, because that'll get you. So then I needed a way to mount it, and the bracket that came with that light was this piece of junk. I mean, look at how cheesy that thing is. That thing would break in a heartbeat. This clamp don't hold it. It still moves around as if you never clamped it. So that wasn't trustworthy. So it's just flimsy. So I had made a matching set of knobs for shifter knobs and brake knob from a lawnmower, or Craftsman lawnmower I rebuilt a while back, and I made a matching set of knobs for it. Well, I can't find no lawnmower that had the same threads, so these decided to be changed into something else. So I just drilled a hole all the way through it, drilled a 1/2 inch hole, probably down to the knurl in here, and you know, drilled all the threads out, and then I drilled it to tap it for 1/4 20, and then I've got a 1/4 20 bolt underneath of it that holds it on there, and that's solid. It ain't gonna move. So by God. All right, so then where'd I put it? So then I made this plate because I had to turn something, all that spacer or something, and I noticed all the shavings where it was going. It's going down these cracks and stuff, and you still can't combat it all, but you're going to get most of it. So basically I just made that so that it would just slide across the top of this, because the top of this and the top of this is level. So it basically just acts as a slide to keep it straight. So then we put our same screws. We're keeping the same theme with the same identical screws so that every screw matches. Yeah, I hate it that they're not standard, because this is a standard machine. This was built in the good old days when everything was normal. And so then I'm just pulling on it to make sure it's straight. And then that just rides right along with it. It keeps shavings off the lead screw and not get bound up underneath the rail for the DRO. And while we're at it, let me get this back up to its original place and take a sip of my coffee while y'all watch me mess around. So what I need to do is put some kind of an alignment mark here, because this is where I would be standing. I would have to put me a mark here and then put a corresponding line somewhere else on this one. It'd be further back because I'm looking at it at an angle. I could put some kind of an indicator mark there telling me to stop, but oh well. I don't think I'm gonna have that problem. So let's just show you some other stuff here I've done to this lathe bench. We got the DRO, and these are the 3D printed labels that I made, plates that I made, and they're The plastic is 2 inches thick, 2 millimeters thick. The letters are 2 millimeters high, so it's a total of 4 millimeters. And then I went and got some, since this was metal, I used business card magnetic tape that you stick on the back of business cards for people to put on their refrigerator. So I got a whole crap load of those because I was going to make logos or cards and make them magnetic for refrigerators and just never did it. So now I just use them for projects like this. So I've got both of them magnetic, and it tells me which one is which. So I think that's pretty cool. And check that out, man. My light goes right along with it. And it's black, it matches it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better, hell, I could even take and put O-rings around in them grooves there, man, make that look that much better. In fact, you know what? If I got my O-rings in here, we will do that. Alright, let's just take that light down for a second. Find us an O-ring that fits. Check this shit out. I actually think those are too big. I'm gonna go with a smaller one so it stretches more, and because the more it stretches, the thinner it'll get. So let's try one of these here little ones. I know I ain't gonna get one of these to go on it. Maybe not. Maybe I can. Yeah, that'll work even better. We'll just use these smaller ones and stretch it up on there. So now let's see what it looks like. What do you think of that, guys? You reckon that'll work? Oh, shit. But anyway, just wanted to show that off. I took the last one apart after I finished it, and I just didn't feel like doing that twice. So I just figured I'd show you all what I did, and if you can't see how to do your Logan lathe by these two videos and what I've showed you, then maybe you need the kindergarten class. You need to learn the basics first. But I definitely got to get a plate to put over that so that it doesn't do that. I can't be having that. I got an extra head, but that doesn't mean I have to use it just because I have an extra one. I like keeping the extra one and never have to use it. It's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. Anyway, we've got everything policed here. We've got all of our chuck keys, we got all of our adapters, the big drill bit, the keyless chuck, the Jacobs half-inch chuck, we got the big 1-inch drill bit, we got the live center, and I made this one. This is so that I can put it in my lathe and turn rotors on a Big Bear 400. It didn't work out very good. That stuff was hard to turn. I don't know what brake rotors are made out of, but I think they're pretty hard. And then I got a taper attachment, or tape, or this goes in the head stock or center. So, but anyway, got the hub switch and got all my bits, but I'm getting ready to redesign this. I don't like this. This sucks. It's up there too high. I like them to be where they're pointing up, but they're too far forward or up in the back, so I can't really see, and they don't have to be that much of an angle, just barely an angle, just enough to give it some down force. Let gravity do the job, hold them on there for you. That's too much gravity. And it's hindering my looking at it. So I want to change the angle on this, so I'm thinking about just redesigning that whole thing, period. It works well if you had them mounted down here low, but I really don't have a place down here to mount them, and I really don't want them down there. I'd rather them be right there, and I'll have to move some stuff here and make a longer one, because I want to make a place for more of these, because I want to eventually get more of these tools. So I've already got one. I got to make another bracket to put that one on there, so I'm just going to make me a new one. This time I'm going to use aluminum. I'm probably going to use this stuff right here because it's softer. So I'm probably going to use this and make them like these pieces right here. So then I'll just make them longer and space them in a way where I can get as many as I can get up there. I like to have at least, let's see, 10 would sound like a good goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more. I'll be satisfied. Because there's always times where you've got a different bit that you want to use. Like for instance, that was an empty one. Well, hell, I got 2 empty ones. Yeah, let's say you wanted to do that kind of bit on one. And then, instead of changing all this, that's why it's called a quick change tool post. Duh. And, you know, you got different ones for different jobs. One for chamfering or putting grooves in, or this one here for facing. I also use this one for facing because that sticks out far enough that you can do about a 5,000 face cut. So, but I want them to where I can see them, so I can see which ones are there. Right now, this nut is hiding them, so I have to actually get up there and pull 10 of them down before I get the right one, and I want to change that. So that's going to drive me nuts. And we got my big old bison. That's the very first bison logo. That's where I got the bull in my bison logo. I found that cut out. It was in the ground. I was digging, and I hit that with the shovel, and I started investigating it. And when I got done, that's what it was. So I just put some holes in it and screwed her to the wall and decided to make it my logo. And I like Ford's logo, so I decided to use that shape. And gotta have camouflage in it. It's gotta reflect you. And the bull, I guess, represents how bully I am. Because I'm a bull. Bullheaded. Aren't we all? But anyway, hope you guys like this project, and gives you guys some ideas on how to do yours. See that thing right there? It's just resting right on top of it. But there it is. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.